What is going on, everybody? My name is Conor and Lorraine. Welcome back to another week of the Heroes for Hire podcast. We are back again talking all the week's movie news, entertainment news, and just generally having a bit of a chit-chat about everything to do with film for the first half of the episode. And then for the second half of the episode, we talk all of the week's weirdest news stories from all around the world. We talk about the news that the real news is too afraid to talk about. That's right, it's a double-up episode. It's the Heroes for Hire podcast. I'm joined as always by my best pal, Mr. Shaun. Me and Shaun, how's it going?
I'm good, Conor. Sorry, can you speak up? I can't hear you. There's something happening.
So, he's only joking now because 4 seconds before I hit record, my next door neighbour decided to... Look, some would say he's cutting the grass, but I would say it sounds like he set off 19 chainsaws at the same time. And I was like... Couldn't have done it even half an hour before. Even half an hour later would have been easier to explain.
Have you seen the weather today, though? Like, there's great grass cutting in that weather. We don't know when we're going to get this again.
I feel also the biggest dork move is to go out and be like, sorry, I'm recording a podcast.
Oh, don't do that. Conor, if you had a sick child trying to sleep, I still would tell you, don't go out and talk to him.
He's like 60, so it'll be even like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like a radio show, but like you do it yourself.
It's like the old talkies that used to get during the war, lad.
Yeah, and me and my friend do one, and we don't talk about real news. No. We talk about media.
Yeah, they try to explain like, oh, do you know comic books? Oh, lads, I'm a fucking dickhead.
There's a Patreon. Oh well, what that is?
So Shaun, I mean, I already mentioned it. We do have a Patreon if you want to support the show. That would really, really help us out. If you're only here for weird news, Shaun will put a little timestamp down below. And in that timestamp, it'll go straight to weird news. And as I said, we talk about all the strangest news stories from around the world. It's like 40 minutes long. Movie news we talk about for 40 minutes in the first half of the episode. It's all in one easy to find episode these days instead of splitting it all up. If it is your first episode, you don't have to do anything. Don't worry about it. But if it is your second and above, we would really appreciate 5 stars, a like, a follow, a share. Whatever way you want to support the show would really help us out. Maybe just tell people to stop mowing grass at certain times of the day.
Please. Oh, here's a truck coming past my house. Oh God, it's a great day for audio today.
Machine gun doing outside.
Oh, the fireworks factory is on tour.
Who put that Christmas tree factory beside the fireworks factory?
But if you do go over to the Patreon, we did last Friday, we put up our review of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, everyone's favourite Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Because that's been in the movie hat for a while, and we happened to pull it out.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, listeners, didn't have fun watching it, I'll be honest.
Now, actually, yeah, so if you like Star Wars, we figured out over the Patreon, it's all extra content and extra exclusive content if you want over there. So like extra episodes of the show and extra movie reviews. But we've done, as far as we know, all the prequels, so 1, 2 and 3, and we've done 8 and 9. So you've kind of noticed a trend there in that the patrons specifically pick the ones that are bad because they think it's funny and recommend them and put them in the hat.
Because I would say of the 9 mainline Star Wars movies, 4 of them are universally good. 1 of them is contested.
I would take Rogue One. I would take Solo. But nobody ever throws any of them in. It always has to be 8 and 9.
Are we going to have to talk about that fucking Zack Snyder Star Wars clone at some point?
Oh, I hope not. But now one of them's going to throw it in the hat. Oh, don't get me started.
You're going to be real clever for doing so.
So yeah, we're going to get straight into some movie news. I say that after our monologuing for a few minutes, but because it's very important that we start off with something positive. And I say this because we've had a lot of comments over the last week and the week before. People were saying, Shaun, that you were very negative. A grumpy bastard were the words
positive
that were thrown around.
Shaun?
A fucking dickhead, grumpy fucking dickhead. Look, bastard was.
What my father says in his spare time is of no one's concern.
Yeah, I did talk to him off mic.
Yeah, it's weird that you two have a group chat.
You hadn't even listened to the episode. But,
no, doesn't like me.
But I thought we have to talk about a news story that I feel like you might come in negative on, but I think it's important that we say we like movies. I like movies. I want to be positive about things. It's not our fault that we don't like Moana 9 or whatever is coming out. That's like
100%. And look, just because of those comments, I'm going to be positive out of spite.
Okay.
If it's something that nobody wants, I'm going to be on side this episode.
Here we you know what? I'm very much glad you said that, because Shaun, Spider-Man 4, we have some news on Tom Holland's movie in which some pretty big rumours are swirling around in terms of the plot, Shaun.
I've heard the rumours.
And you said to me you love this idea now. You said you've turned it around. Yeah.
Let's look for the positives in every story, listeners.
So the ideas are that they're going to be bringing out Spider-Man 4, obviously with Tom Holland coming back, and it's going to be a multiverse movie, Shaun.
Yeah. So if we can trace it back to the last Spider-Man multiverse movie, No Way Home, that's the one.
No Way Home.
Ended after that multiversal escapade with Tom Holland's Spider-Man being an anonymous Spider-Man where no one knew his name, and he was lacking all of the resources of Stark Industries and the Avengers, etc., and he was now a street-level hero. So you're telling me that the plan for the next movie is another multiverse story? I'm not saying that's good or bad. I just want to confirm that's what you're saying.
I've noticed now that instead of being negative, you're just saying what I've said to you back to me. And then you're
what
like,
else can I do?
Just to be clear, I'm going to state the facts again. Because I can't state my real opinion. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Now, you love this idea. You said you love multiverse ideas. You think it's fantastic. I never said anything about being positive. So from my perspective, Shaun, I think it might be... I think it's a bad direction to go in if they do go this way, because as you said, they wiped the slate clean. They had the big multiverse movie. They had the big fucking bring back Andrew Garfield, bring back Tobey Maguire. You have that big movie. And then you have the clean slate. You have the beautiful suit at the end. He's swinging around New York in the snow. It's Christmas time. It's so Spider-Man. It's absolutely perfect. He can go meet Gwen Stacy in college, and then you have like bring back the love triangle if you want with him and MJ and Gwen, but MJ doesn't know who he is anymore, so that's a whole other thing. I would say go a lot smaller if you were to do it from there, because you've now kind of given yourself the ability to do that without it seeming weird.
Because...
Oh, positive.
Okay.
So maybe start with, if I was to be negative.
If I was to see things from your perspective,
yes,
Connor,
go on.
I would say that this whole thing is reactionary to the success of things like Across the Spider-Verse and such. I would say that they are just trying to cash in on what worked last time instead of actually trying to do anything new.
In the last movie.
Yeah, and it's also definitely going to have Venom in it for no reason at all.
Yeah.
That's also definitely going to come up. That's what I would say if I was being negative. But to look at this in a positive light, maybe we're going to get the live action equivalent of the Spider-Verse films, Connor. Maybe this is going to be the best live action Spider-Man we've ever seen.
The maybe in that sentence is doing such heavy, it's barely hanging on. It's holding on to, it's doing the Spider-Man pose of like holding on to the two half of a boat.
Of the train. Yeah.
Or the train. Maybe it'll be like the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time, but in live action.
Okay, let's look at it. A street level Spider-Man in a multiverse story.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't negative, this is just realistic. They're going to give him a new suit because they need a new suit to sell toys.
But you don't need a new one, you've already given us the new one, and the other one is so nice.
The new one is great, like the one that's at the end of No Way Home. Fantastic, one of my favourite suits. But what if it's, like, say it's a multiverse story with, but what other Spider-Man do you get at that point? Because we've done the Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield thing, and
the only way you go is Miles.
That's the only recourse you have.
To be honest with you, once multiverse kind of came about, the only thing I thought of was Tom Holland has come back to do these movies. He doesn't really want to do any more of these movies, and it would make sense. The only reason that this would make any sense is if you bring Holland back to be the guy to pass it over to Miles in number 5 or whatever.
And I think that's probably the route, and it probably leads closer into Secret Wars. Because
it's meant to come out in between Doomsday and Secret Wars.
There it is. So Tom Holland is not doing another trilogy.
No.
I think we're getting one more with Tom Holland because he's pushing 30 and he probably wants to do other things.
And you know what? Although his agent we've talked about before, maybe get a different agent, Tom.
Yeah. Please, Tom, if you're listening,
Tom, you're super talented. Go do different projects.
But so I'm going to do a Hero Zero sometime that is just a summary of Secret Wars. But to put it bluntly, and both Spider-Men. So the Spider-Men from the Ultimate Universe and the mainline Marvel Universe, Miles Morales and Peter Parker, they both play a very big part in Secret Wars. So this is presumably, hey, we really want to use Miles Morales in Secret Wars. We got to do a multiverse Spider-Man story. Tom Holland doesn't want to wait 2 or 3 movies to do that. And so it's like, I'll do one more and then I'm done.
And maybe the promise was, if you come back for one more, then we promise you don't have to come back again until probably Secret Wars for a cameo.
Yeah, because the way in like, this isn't really spoilers, it happened in 2015. The way that in Secret Wars, like the incursions that are happening, all the universes colliding together, the last 2 universes left are the Ultimate Universe and the Marvel 616 universe, and they crash together, and that's how Peter Parker and Miles Morales end up meeting. They had met before, but they meet again because the worlds crash together. So I could see, like, Doomsday, it ends with universes crashing together, and then that's how the Spider-Man movie happens, and it's across 2 universes, and then it leads into Secret Wars. And
you could do, as you said, the Spider-Verse thing of, like, you have Tom Holland trading the new guy. So when they say multiverse, they just mean Miles Morales coming across to meet Peter Parker.
I think that's the thing, because I think multiverse has a connotation now of like, oh, it's a bajillion things smashing together, but it's not. It can just be 2 universes. Which I think this is the case, because they don't have a lot to play with.
Well, like, the thing is, you can't really do Garfield and Maguire again. Like, that makes no sense. So, well, you could for the trailer or whatever, but it's not going to have the same kind of catch as before, where they never revealed it and everyone's like, oh, we know but we don't know, and everyone's kind of going in to see it. This is a lot different. And I think it's the absolute best way to do this. If they don't introduce Miles in this movie and they just leave it, I think they're leaving so much money on the table. And like, it's the stupidest way to do it.
Yeah, like, because like there's been other rumours about Spider-Man, like they're apparently introducing Black Cat at some point in the future as well.
Well, Black Cat would be great if he's in college and he's just Spider-Man-ing. Like, bringing in any of those female characters is perfect for then.
Yes, but I think if you, like, but you need a couple of movies to do those. But, like, I feel like we're getting one more Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and then he's peacing out.
Yeah. I could see that happening, and then so I read the multiverse thing, and initially that big response of, oh god, no, why?
Yeah.
And then you're like, the only way to do it is if they do Miles, and if it's something else, then, I mean, grand, but also, why are we doing this? What's the point of doing the big, like, multiverse thing, and then in the next movie doing a lesser multiverse thing that isn't as exciting?
Yeah, like, I would love, and there is still space to do some street level stuff at the start of this.
I want like half of this movie to be street level, at least.
But wouldn't it be great if, like, because the universes are colliding, maybe it's not a big violent, like, they're not actually crashing into each other, but they're starting to overlap. So, like, Miles and Peter are both stopping the same crime, the same street level crime at the same instant. and they just keep overlapping with each other. That kind of stuff would be cool.
So you're having it like already set up, Miles?
I think Miles is established. Like, Miles is working away in the universe.
And I think that works because I think Spider-Verse now has laid that groundwork that you don't need to do the big... Like, now Spider-Verse is like legendary in terms of how it introduced all those spider characters. Like, let me take you back to the start, and it's like 45 seconds and you're already up to speed. But they can't. I don't think they'll do that here. So it works a lot better if you just go off Spider-Verse. A lot of people have seen that movie. I would say, like, the majority of people who are interested in Spider-Man have probably watched Spider-Verse or seen something to do with Spider-Verse. So use that to your advantage and just be like, Miles is already set up, he's already a badass, he's already solving crimes, and he meets Peter Parker, and the two of them are Spider-Man, just in two different universes.
Yeah, you don't need to do the whole origin story, really. You just be like, oh, I'm the Spider-Man in this universe, and that's it. Because there is... the common among the movie-going audience, people know who Miles Morales is. If they don't, they just watched a movie where there was a bunch of Spider-Men played by different actors. They'll figure it the fuck out. Yeah,
I think so. I just wanted to touch on that. So now that's the new positive outlook, Shaun. That was very good.
I'm really looking forward to it, man. I can't wait to see it, personally.
You know what? I think you turned that around. You were mad at the start, but I think we got you around.
Look. And the next story, I'm sure, will be just as positive.
Well, Jurassic World Rebirth, Shaun.
Fantastic.
The news this week is really fascinating. So what we know is there's going to be a new Jurassic World movie following on from Dominion, which was the last one, if you remember, with Chris Pratt.
I didn't see it, but yes.
And Bryce Dallas Howard. And the movie ends where all the dinosaurs are basically just on Earth and they're just taking over Earth. Right, there's just dinosaurs everywhere. They're let loose.
Oh, is that how that movie ends? It's just it becomes Dinosaur Land.
Yeah, Jurassic World.
Oh, the world becomes
World becomes Jurassic World. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
And so now we know that Universal are bringing out a new Jurassic World movie called Rebirth, mostly because they think it's going to make more money than it costs to make, and they're just going to keep making these forever. So Jurassic World Rebirth is coming out. It has Scarlett Johansson in it and Jonathan Bailey. Mahershala Ali is going to be in this. This is his first feature movie role since 2019 when he won an Oscar.
Wait, no, didn't Blade come out?
Oh no, that was announced in 2020. That was
interesting.
But I don't think it's come out.
Might have gone under the radar, who knows?
Blade was in a movie this year, but it wasn't. I don't think it was Blade. Yeah.
We'll look into that off mic.
Imagine winning an Oscar and then having to wait 5 years for your next movie
to make anything else.
Because you signed your life to Kevin Feige and he won't do a fucking vampire killing movie with you. I don't understand.
Conor, you're being very negative right now.
Sorry.
I think you need to.
I mean, if you can't be negative about the Blade movie, Shaun.
Then what's life been about, folks?
Like, you have Mahershala Ali, you have him playing Blade. Just let him fight vampires. Why do we have to do 9 directors and 75 writers and keep throwing it out and throwing it back in?
It's gotta be perfect, man. You know,
just do anything. As we said, remake the first Blade shot for shot and don't even say anything, and it'll still do okay.
People will still find it charming and interesting.
Yeah. So you have Mahershala Ali, as I said, Jonathan Bailey, Scarlett Johansson. They're all coming back. And it's going to be directed by the Rogue One director, Gareth Edwards. And however, the news that I have is that they're basically going to pull a Star Wars Rise of Skywalker kind of style thing, in that they're going to undo the previous movie in a massive way. Takes place 5 years after Jurassic World Dominion, and in Rebirth, apparently the plot is that the planet's ecology is proven largely inhospitable to dinosaurs, so the remaining dinosaurs now exist in isolated environments.
Interesting. Okay, so it's not that it didn't happen. It's just that they waited long enough and the problem solved itself. They
died out. And now they're back to being in isolated areas in which they can be, I don't know, maybe caged.
Because that's always worked very well in any Jurassic franchise movie.
Like
it's sounds like they really wrote themselves into a corner, but it also, the studio should have known they wanted a sequel before the other movie was finished, so they should have known where it was going to end up and had a plan for that, surely.
I think they didn't. I think they finished that movie and then 4 years passed and then Universal were like, we really like money. And what do we do that makes money? Jurassic World.
And you know what? Fair play to him. Because that's how you keep a company in business, Connor.
Do another Dark Universe.
Yeah, please. I'd love that, personally.
Also, the plot is going to be that apparently they need a life-saving drug. And the only way to get it is to get the DNA of the 3 biggest dinosaurs in the world in a specific area, and then they send Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali, they're like army people, they're going to go in, and Jonathan Bailey is going to be playing the scientist, the paleontologist, who is there to try and get the blood out of it. I know Ali's going to have the most spectacular death of all time in this movie.
100%.
He's getting eaten, but it's going to end with Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey left, I assume.
In a forced romance? Yeah, definitely.
Oh God, yeah, of course.
I mean, like... Ultimately, no movie needs to exist. So this movie should be no exception to that rule.
It's an isolated island filled with dinosaurs formula, Shaun. It never fails.
It's a classic. It's a classic. And the humans, they're going to think they have everything under control because they're more evolved. But
well, no, because it got out of hand and then it solved itself and now we can go back to the isolated island. Because I love the idea of writing the plot for this. They were like, how do we do the isolated island though if the world is covered in dinosaurs? They're like, well, we could just say they fucking, I don't know, it didn't really work out for them and a lot of them died.
Permission to be negative, Connor?
Everyone, how do we feel about that? Yeah, go on. For one time only.
A talented writer. So, the original formula. Localised island full of dinosaurs. Entire world full of humans.
Yeah, you do the opposite.
This one, you do the opposite. Entire world full of dinosaurs. Localised island of humans. And they're trying to get off the island and reclaim it. The world, that is. I mean,
you could do that, but I don't think they're going to win, is the problem.
That's another 3 movies right there, though.
You're thinking of the Planet of the Apes movies, is what you're thinking of.
I'm thinking... Planet of the Apes movies are real good.
You need to get Matt Reeves in to direct this movie. And he could direct the shit out of a humans versus dinosaurs movie, and we ultimately end up siding with the dinosaurs.
Instead of greenlighting a live-action Lilo and Stitch, why don't we put that into researching how to make Matt Reeves not need sleep? And then we can just have him make every movie.
Why doesn't Matt Reeves direct every movie?
Himself. Edgar Wright. Get him in as well. Yeah. He can be on the
James
team.
Greta. You'd have to get Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, Chris Nolan can come in. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. Chloe Zhao, I want her in as well.
I like Ridley Scott's madness. He hits and he misses, but he goes at it either way.
he is quite wild, to be fair. I don't want James Cameron. That's
interesting.
I think he won't play well with everyone else.
In a submarine. We're assembling an Avengers-style team that we just want.
Jordan Peele, he's got to be in there.
Jordan Peele, of course. You give them drugs to keep them awake forever and just allow them to film movies constantly.
Yeah. And Ted Elliott gets to come along as well.
Oh, Ted has to write all the movies.
Has to write all the movies for me to watch.
Are you excited about Jurassic World 4?
Not to be cynical, but given that I didn't watch the last one,
that's a high possibility you're not going to be watching this one.
I probably have some catching up to do if I want to watch 5.
Rush Hour 4, Shaun. Good news is
is this the kind of news we're doing these days?
It's reportedly being shopped around Hollywood.
That's not news.
Well, the news is that Brett Ratner is attached to direct.
Brett the Rat Ratner?
Brett the motherfucking Rat Ratner is back and he's attached to direct Rush Hour 4.
You could have told me that this was like, they're shopping around a script and it's Paul Mescal as a pirate. But because it's Brett Ratner, I'm fully against it. I hate this. I'm going to be a hater on this story specifically. I refuse to play positive.
Here's the thing, though, because the Rat directed the other 3 as well.
But he's the Rat for a reason, Con.
That is true. If people don't know who Brett Ratner is, Shaun, would you like to give them a rundown?
Just a dog of a man. He's like he
did X-Men The Last Stand.
And X-Men Dark Phoenix, didn't he?
No, I don't think he did. I think he just did Last Stand, didn't he?
I thought they got the same guy back to do both Dark Phoenix movies.
That would be hilarious. I don't think they did.
Let me pull up a filmography here.
Of the Rat.
This is the most... No, he didn't. He doesn't seem to have directed it. So that's good. He's done a lot of music videos. That's weird. Anyway.
I think only the music industry wants him.
They're the only ones. I mean, he hasn't done one since 2015, I'll be honest.
I don't think he's been doing too much, has the Rat. But they were always going to do him in Rush Hour 4 as the thing, because, I mean, he's done all the rest of them, and Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan want to do another one, and people love Rush Hour as a concept. I love Rush Hour. I think it's a fantastic movie. Number 2, I think, is pretty good. 3 is alright, but you see the clips going around on Twitter of, like, clips from the movie, and it's always very funny. Chris Tucker is always hilarious in it. Paramount and Sony passed on the film after hearing that Ratner would be involved.
Good. Do not give the man money.
But Lionsgate are currently discussing it.
Lionsgate? I mean, let's have a look at Lionsgate's output, because I want to see what's going on here. Why would they consider... They're not putting him on a press tour, surely.
No, and look, we don't say this lightly, but he's an absolute cunt of a man, is what he is.
Yeah. They did... so Lionsgate have all the Hunger Games films. They've got the Now You See Me's. They've got the John Wicks. The John Wicks are pretty good.
Yeah, so this is just the same as John Wick.
The Expendables.
Do you know what's so funny is if they had told me Rush Hour 4 was coming out and they told me any other director, I'd be like, oh, great, let's fucking do it.
Oh, fine, yeah. But imagine they told you, like, oh, it's Rush Hour 4, but we've got David Leitch doing it.
Oh my god, that's like, amazing.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But the Rat?
Don't do the Rat, Lionsgate.
Like, any time there's a controversy section on Wikipedia.
Yeah, and it's a big controversy section on his Wikipedia. I mean, he was big in the 90s and the 2000s, and so that's pretty good, but, I mean, having Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan coming back, I think that's going to be cool. I don't know what age they are now. They must be 50, 60, 70 at this stage. So... the fact that they are coming back, I think that's really cool. But
yeah, Jackie Chan is 70. I
mean, not going to be too many flips. But what we would like to see, I would like to see a Rush Hour 4. It's a perfect straight to Netflix movie. 1, and 2 is you need to get anyone other than the Rat in, and then we'll watch it.
Yeah, because do something cool with Rush Hour. Is what I would say. I'm fine with them taking the script and refusing the director.
Yeah, yeah. Also, it's not lost to me that they're doing Bad Boys and they're trying to bring back Rush Hour because they're like trying to do the buddy cop movies from the 90s and the 80s, and it's just like, well, you could just make a new buddy cop movie that, like, they're doing Lethal Weapon as well, but they don't actually do any new buddy cop movies.
No, they just coast off of what already existed.
But I'm like, just do a new one with people that we like, and I think people would watch that.
Did they do a Lethal Weapon remake?
They're trying to get it done, yeah.
Who's in the cast, do you think?
I mean, Mel Gibson is directing it, I think.
What if you got Andy Samberg and Donald Glover? It's pretty funny.
That's pretty good. Andy Samberg being the wild card.
Yeah.
But like,
and
I
Donald
don't know
Glover being the straight man.
See, I don't know if anyone could pull off the energy of 90s and 80s Mel Gibson.
It's a different breed of human at that point.
It's the look in the eye that I think Sandberg, I don't know if he has it. He's too kind.
Pete Davidson. He might be too crazy.
I don't want to watch Pete Davidson in a movie.
You don't like Pete Davidson in the movie?
Yes. Gosling could do it, but that's just because I want a Gosling in everything.
That's true. Let me hit you with a Glenn Powell. How do you feel about that?
Glenn would be a great psychopath.
Glenn would be pretty good. Miles Teller.
I don't really like Miles either.
See, but I feel he could do it. I feel he could turn it on. We don't like Mel either, and Mel did it.
See, that's the thing, but Mel is so good in those movies. Don't bring back the rat is all of our advice.
Leave the rat out.
The fact that he's involved in any of the Rush Hours makes me sad, because I love Rush Hour as a concept, and it annoys me that he's involved, because just a dog of a man.
Just real bad.
Do you think we went in too negative there?
No, I think that was just enough. Also, just to reclaim some of my honour, Simon Kinberg wrote X-Men: The Last Stand and Dark Phoenix. Kinberg was involved in both. That was my connection.
Imagine having that track record. They're like, you're clearly the expert. It worked so well the first time.
Also produced The New Mutants and A Haunting in Venice.
He's on a roll.
And Josh Trank's Fantastic Four.
He's on a roll.
Oh, it's not great. Also produced X-Men First Class.
So now take that back.
Also wrote Mr. and Mrs. Smith from 2005.
I mean, it's a wide array of things that are equal in quality.
He's no Ted Elliott.
No, if I would just know, Ted Elliott wrote Pirates of the Caribbean and the National Treasure movies.
The National Treasures. And G-Force.
Him and his writing partner, Terry Rossio, and they're Sean's biggest idols, even though I think they must be about 80 at this stage.
I think they're a cool 65, the two of them. But with the career they've had, they could be timeless.
Oh my God, sure, jeez, they've been involved in everything great in Hollywood for years. So, Sean, we're going to move on to our next piece of news, and there is going to be a new Predator movie, reportedly going to be getting filming, along with a new Prey movie, Prey 2.
Interesting. So that's two Predator movies, really.
They're doing two Predator movies. The rumour of the first one is that it's about to begin filming, along with the second one, which is going to be Prey 2, which they will be bringing out, because obviously Prey 1 was very good. Probably the best Predator movie in a long time. Although actually Predators from like 2010, that's Predators so good as well. Great.
Yeah, but I think that's the way these goes. Like, you had Alien and Aliens are both good, and then Predator and Predators are both very good. And then there's this gap in the middle where all kinds of shit happened. And then they really focus and lock in on one in the late 2010s, and it just kind of works.
Yeah. And so, I mean, if you didn't see Prey, by the way, I would definitely recommend it. And so they haven't actually announced in terms of what's going to happen. It's going to be called Predator Badlands, apparently, is the name being thrown around at the minute.
So it's kind of like like the Badlands would be like desert, nothing around, nowhere to hide kind of a thing.
They say it's going to focus on two sisters who are put to the ultimate test as they pursue divergent paths and missions. Vague enough to mean anything.
Right. Okay. And where does the Predator come into things?
He's just hanging out. He's just chilling.
He's just watching, seeing how they go on their missions.
He doesn't want to get involved. They haven't caused him any harm.
No, but and then Prey 2, does it follow the characters from Prey? Like what they're up to now?
If Prey, the sequel would make franchise history as the first installment to bring back the protagonist as the star. So it actually would probably follow the same characters, yes.
That's pretty cool. And then might lead into an Alien versus Predator situation.
I mean, Prey 2, you got to have a bad Predator and then a good Predator. And then, like,
you're doing a Terminator 2 on this.
And that's the only thing I'm thinking. That's the only way you work it. If the whole first movie is about the bad guy tracking these people down and killing them, they gain his respect. Then the next one, oh shit, there's an even bigger, badder Predator. We're going to T2 this.
So we could do, but maybe like the good Predator hunts with the skill of, like, doesn't use all the Predator gear.
Yeah, he's not as good.
Same stuff that the tribe uses.
Maybe if the evil new Predator, the better one, was called, I don't know, a T-1000 or something, just to kind of differentiate it.
And he could melt and stuff.
Then the one we have is the one from the first movie, but he's kind of like, he's kind of lost a lot of technology. He's early levels in the video game. The new evil one is like late levels.
It'd be cool if it was like amongst the tribe. Maybe it's like years after the events of Prey, and like the Predator has become like this mythical beast that they once fought and defeated, and then a new Predator comes down, and the whole tribe is ready this time.
Ooh.
And they just dogpile him. And it's a half-hour short film.
He lands, and then there's just 19 people just jump on top of him, just like throwing punches and kicks until he stops moving.
If the Predator was hunting you, how long do you think you'd last?
Where does he start and where do I start?
He starts in Dublin City, and you're up there for the day.
I'm up there for the day.
You get out of the car at 10 a.m. in the morning on Grafton Street.
Right.
And the Predator starts at the Spire on O'Connell Street.
Right. So
and the Predator, you don't know the Predator is hunting you.
Right.
But the Predator is solely focused on killing you.
Oh, but I mean minutes.
Minutes, you say?
Like, if I don't know the Predator's hunting me, like, he's just going to hunt me and then kill me.
So you're saying it's the time it takes something to get from
it's going to take the time it takes for him to walk from one street to the other. Whereas I know if I asked you the same question, you would be very confident that you would survive and then make friends with the Predator somehow.
2 or 3 minutes I'm getting at least. But same story, but you know the Predator is hunting you now.
Oh, I think I could survive 7 minutes.
7 minutes? Where are you going? McDonald's?
I'm going sprinting somewhere, but like away from the Spire.
I see. You're going to hop on the Lewis?
Obviously.
It's the fastest means of transport.
I mean, it's free transport. So I'm going to get straight onto the Lewis, get out of there, then get on a train, and get out of Dublin as fast as possible.
Okay, and he's going to track you. You got to be ready for that.
True, but he's not going to get on the Lewis though, is he?
No, but you're in the queue for Sabaros at like Dublin Station.
You're right. I think I could survive 22 minutes.
22 minutes if you know he's coming.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay.
What about you?
Oh, I'd get home. I'd be fine.
I'd never die.
I would take control of the Predator.
You would kill him, is what you're telling me.
I mean, I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
But and I think I'd get him in a situation where he couldn't possibly win or leave. You're
thinking of Adrian Brody at the Predators? You're going to cover yourself in grease.
But just in the middle of Dublin.
And just running around naked, covered in mud. You can't see you, lad. You're grand.
Yeah. And that's never been disproven in any Predator film ever.
Never ever. Shaun, also, I don't know if we touched on it last week. I think we did. But Chris Hemsworth Hulk Hogan biopic?
Cancelled,
sorry, no, we did. Or maybe I told you that because we were also hanging out in real life.
Yeah. I think we talked about that in real life.
It was cancelled anyway because Hulk Hogan, incredibly bad man.
Very bad man.
And Chris Hemsworth likes his PR people. I have no idea how they got involved in this in the first place. It fascinated me because Chris Hemsworth is one of those guys. Marketing is on point. The team is always on point.
PR team is insane.
They are doing Lad Bible. They are doing all the stuff on YouTube. Every time he's got a movie and he's very charming. And the fact that he was involved in the Hulk Hogan biopic, I mean, crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's very weird. I feel like he might have just agreed to a wrestling movie and then didn't realise what it was about, maybe. Unless he was really hardcore promoting Hulk Hogan and we just missed it.
And also, Todd Phillips was down to direct it.
Well, now I'm heartbroken. Because as we all know, big fan. Conor,
Todd
positivity.
is so good. Todd is doing Joker 2 obviously later on this year, so that's gonna fucking bang. So I mean,
that's in a few weeks, Conor. We have Joker 2 to look forward to.
And the countdown has begun. Was it like October?
October, I do believe. Let me double check for the listeners here.
We love Todd Phillips here. He's so good.
October 4th, 2024.
Something to look forward to.
You know what's convenient about that? Oktoberfest is the very next day, Conor. So I can celebrate how much I love Joker 2.
You said you liked Joker 1. Don't be lying.
Yeah, I did say that, and I stand by that.
Yeah.
This movie shouldn't exist.
First movie shouldn't exist. Okay. I'm allowed to be negative. You're not.
What?
Yeah, that's the rules.
These rules.
Also, just going to finish off movie news, Shaun. Did you see the behind-the-scenes shot of The Thing?
I did.
What do you think of that? If anyone hasn't seen it, by the way, we have the shots of The Thing, but it's like proper...
it's like a latex rubber mask kind of thing.
Yeah, and like I think they did that to be like, hey, look, we're doing a real life suit, but in the actual movie they're just going to CGI over it anyway, so you won't see any of it.
That's all going to be a CGI replacement. Like there's always... Look, he'll probably look similar to that because the way they do VFX is they have a real world model and they have that on set so that they can get cues for how the lighting and the shadows and everything should look on that model. So that's close to the design of Ben Grimm. But obviously it's going to be a lot more... It's literally going to be animated. Like it's going to be a CGI character at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I just want... We don't normally touch on behind the scenes stuff, so I just seen it and I was like, what did you think of that suit? But also, it's going to be all CGI, so could be anything.
Yeah, I like the way the orange looks against the blue and white of the suit. It just rings right for me.
It's comic book accurate is what we would say.
Yeah, as all movies should be. To a
also,
fault.
it doesn't matter if they are.
No, it really doesn't. Look at Joker 2.
Except for Joker 2, it shouldn't exist. Because Joker 2 is different though, because I know for a fact Todd Phillips hasn't read any comic books.
He's read The Dark Knight Returns.
No, that's Snyder. Snyder's read The Dark Knight Returns, and that's the only comic book he's ever read. Phillips, I don't know what he's read. Maybe The Laughing Joke or something.
He wants to or
The Killing Joke, sorry.
No, it's The Laughing Joke, don't worry about it. I think he put out a thing and it was just like, our Harley Quinn's going to be way different. And I'm like, but Harley Quinn's a good character.
That's fine. I think at this point, Todd, you do whatever you want in your little sandbox. It's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter.
Keep getting those paychecks. Do not expect this one to do as well as the first.
Because we're drugging Matt Phillips or Matt Reeves into
Are you okay?
I'm confusing Matt Phillips and Matt Reeves. No, so Todd Phillips and Matt Reeves. We're getting Matt Reeves on all those drugs, and he's going to direct the Batman 2. And boys, are we excited?
Ted Elliott.
Written by Ted Elliott. I think Matt Reeves wrote the first one.
Probably did, actually. See, there's talks of a game set in the Batman universe. Oh,
don't tell me that. We'll just stop.
Yeah. It's apparently that's what they're
doing. Made by the Arkham lads.
I don't know who would make them now. I just saw it was a discussing film post.
Difficult world to get involved if you're not bringing in the Arkham lads.
Unless they do it better. You know?
There's no way to do a movie to video game adaptation and make it better than the Arkham games.
Get the Insomniac lads in. The lads that did Spider-Man PS4 and 5.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Okay, I think it's time to move on to some weird news, Shaun. That means it's time for the weird news jingle. Every single time we had rave reviews about the weird news jingle over the weekend.
We did hear this. Apparently it's the perfect time to continue listening to the show.
People agreed with me that it was a 3 out of 10, but it's a solid little jingle.
What do you want? You don't want the jingle to be better than the rest of the show.
That's true. We got to aim low and then it can only go up. So, Shaun, this is weird news. What do we do here?
You spent the week gathering all the weirdest news stories from around the world. You're about to read them all out to me, a man who has been too busy just comparing jingles in his head to look at any weird news.
What's your favourite jingle?
I'd have to say it's Mr. Sparkle from The Simpsons.
It's a good one.
He's disrespectful to dirt.
On the same lines, I'm still a bang man myself.
Banging the dirt is gone.
Banging the dirt is gone. And I think they turned that into a little jingle. Do you know what Rod really puts me off is the Purcell ad, you know, with the baby who's like a biker baby.
Oh, yeah.
Always a bit unnerved by that.
The first one that I remember hearing, and I was like, oh, they designed this for me to listen to. It's Washing Machines Live Longer with Calgon.
A great tune. Because you remember, if you take a Calgon, you take Washing Machines Live Longer.
I'm going shopping for washing machine juice or whatever it is.
That's all I bought. I went to buy some fruit and veg. I came out with just Calgon. It was
just
mad.
Calgon. And I can't drink that.
I tried. I was in the hospital. It was fine.
I tried again, back in the hospital.
They said, don't do it again. I said,
now, what do I do?
Send me to the supermarket, I said. I'll show you. Shaun, we're going to start off with a man who, he went on an office retreat and some things happened. And then I have Colorado man left behind during office retreat, survives night on mountain.
Like in the wild. Like
in
outside.
The wild. He's had a bad weekend.
Turning up on Monday. Do you even turn up? I think I'd leave.
So a Colorado man survived a night on a mountain by himself while injured after being left behind by his co-workers during an office retreat. Which I assume
that man never has to work a day in his life. That's
going to lead to some really awkward encounters in the office, surely. Like, if someone's asking him to do something, like, well, fucking John, I'll tell you something now.
I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
When I was on the mountain...
When I was in the wild.
So the County Search and Rescue shared the hiker's harrowing ordeal in a Facebook post earlier this week, saying that at about 9 p.m. last Friday night, it was a fucking weekend, it was activated for a report of an overdue hiker.
So you're meant to come back at a certain time, and you just don't. Yeah,
like milk is overdue.
I don't. Milk isn't over. A bill would be overdue. Milk is out of date.
Yeah, it's weird how they made the same thing, but you wouldn't say it was like you could also say about a bill that it's overdue.
Yeah.
You can't say about milk that it's overdue.
Milk is overdue. No, milk is like, oh, they've turned your milk off because you didn't pay. Like,
yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
No more lactose for you.
Did he just get discovered the next day, or did he just walk home or something?
So the hiker was part of a 15-person group that embarked on an office hiking retreat, with one group completing summit attempts and a separate group ascending to the saddle and returning from there. I don't know what any of that means. When the subject submitted at 11:30am and turned to descend, so he got up to the top, and then he turned around to start going back down. He became disorientated, finding belongings left in the boulder field to mark the descent by the previous group, having been picked up as they hiked down. So, in his initial attempts to descend, he found himself in a completely different area in the steep boulder, which was in the northeast slopes. So they all went down maybe another way, and he's like... He maybe waited a few minutes. He was a few minutes behind them, and he got lost going the opposite direction.
Fuck. So he's going down the side of the mountain that maybe he wasn't prepared
because
for.
While they're going down the mountain, they're picking things up that they've left.
That's insane.
So he can't find his way if he's a few minutes behind.
Yeah, so he just went off on the wrong trail, continued walking, and got further and further lost from
the group. Know that the hiker sent the location pin drop to his co-workers who were already descending. The co-workers then informed him that he was wrong and instructed him to climb back up to the slope again to regain the trail. So
don't fucking help him.
They just were like, you're a fucking idiot, go back up and then come back down in a different direction, you fool.
That's fucking... Oh, I would be livid.
At At around 10 to 4, the hiker sent another location pin drop to his co-workers as he nearly regained the ridge between nearly made it back up to the top. Shortly after the hiker sent his location, a storm swept through the area with freezing rain and high winds, prompting the hiker to become disorientated again and losing his cell signal, so he no longer had a clue where he was.
So he's got it all turned around. He's freezing cold and wet.
Yeah.
And he has no way of finding where he actually is.
And remember, they started the descent at 11:35 or something. I think it was 11:30 they started descending. At 9 p.m. that night, they had to deploy 2 teams to go find him.
Did they not tell them at 4 that, like, hey, I have this dude's location?
They should have went and got lunch. They were all sitting in the little cabin
in the fucking
having
cabin.
hot cocoa. They were like, I'll be down soon.
Like, how did someone end up on their own on a mountain?
That is, I mean, the first question you ask is, why is anybody by themselves?
Yeah, because if this is a work retreat, I'd wager they're not all experienced mountaineers.
Maybe it's the guy that nobody likes.
I mean, look, as the guy that nobody likes in my office,
yeah,
I like to think I'd at least keep the group in sight on the mountain.
Not only in sight, but if you were to lose them, you would call somebody back and be like, "Hey, do you mind sticking around with me just for a few minutes?"
Yeah, 100, and that's a fine thing to do. And also, not to victim blame, I'd probably tell someone else who wasn't in the group where I was. You know, I'd message my fiance. I'd message you probably,
in case they're thinking of murdering you.
Yeah, maybe that's what the weekend's been about.
So you're actually going a lot deeper than the guy that they don't like. You're actively the guy they want to murder at the top of a mountain.
First of all, I'll kill them before they kill me. And that's,
I'll kill them, I'll kill me, I don't care.
Yeah, it's mountain law. You know, you're not getting away from any of that.
Is mountain law a thing if you're on like a very gentle slope?
How gentle?
Like, they weren't climbing Everest.
It was a desperate situation.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to die.
So you become... And what does mountain law entail?
That means I can do what I want.
Does it also mean that they can do whatever the fuck they want?
No. Conor.
Oh, sorry. Mountain law is Shaun's law.
Yeah. No, it's mountain law.
Sorry, it's mountain law, but it means you get to do whatever you want with no repercussions.
Yeah, but it also means everyone has to help me if I get lost.
Yeah, because you're just a little boy.
Little bitch boy.
I'm a little bitch boy. I need some help. A helicopter had to be sent out, and apparently when the teams came out, they encountered strong winds and freezing rain, in turn making the process to reach the summit unsafe. And they also couldn't send the drone out because of the rain and the wind, basically making it impossible to fly the drone in the weather. So everybody has now tried to get to him, but the weather is so terrible that nobody can actually get up the mountain. So he's stuck there, just in the rain and the wind.
He's in a storm on the side of a mountain for an entire night.
Yes.
Fucking hell, that's terrifying.
So the helicopter then also assisted the teams. Despite flying several search patterns through the area, it did not detect any sources of light. The teams remained on the field until 9 a.m. the next morning with no trace of the hiker.
Oh, they must, terrible. That group must have been preparing for, your co-worker was found dead on the mountain.
Although, unless it was a plan, then they're like, perfect.
Then they're only pretending to be sad.
Oh no, that's terrible. He almost stole my fucking coffee. He stole my lunch at one time. What a dickhead.
Do you have a lunch thief in the office at all?
Yes.
Does that act? Really?
Yeah, it happened once.
Oh, was there war?
I mean, there was, but also completely over the top. That it was just someone brought in a chicken sandwich, I think it was, and they just put it in the fridge, and then they went to check it, and then somebody had eaten the chicken sandwich, right?
Fuck.
And so
death to that person.
All-out war happened. There was several messages put into the work chats of like, what the fuck is this?
The disrespect.
Fucking Ted Bundy wasn't as bad as these bastards. Oh, fuck. And so it got completely, like, they were like doing CSI shit. They were like trying to check CCTV to be like, who did it? When did they do it? And I think someone got caught. But like, why would you do that?
It's such a wild move to just take someone else's lunch. Like,
and also in a place that clearly has cameras, why would you, like, you're never getting away with that.
And it's such a weird thing to start a feud over, because like those people, you're never going to trust the thief again, are you? Like,
I think they got fired, if I remember
over
correctly.
that.
I think it was due to like I think there's some sort of like it was theft in the office, and it was like, yes, I don't know, but it was basically seen as murder. Like it was the highest level you could go.
In the office, it's one of the bigger crimes you can. Well, it's not really one of the bigger crimes.
Well, you could do the murder if you wanted, but that would be a pretty big crime. But just, have you ever had food stolen?
No, I tend to. We have a canteen in work, so we just kind of.
We have a canteen as well. That's what made no sense.
That's even weirder. Stealing someone's canteen food, that's why
you could go down and get a full dinner for a $5. But
yeah, it's subsidised. It's great.
They specifically wanted that chicken sandwich.
I'll just take that. No one's having it there.
I think it might be the trill at that point.
Yeah. There's been emails sent around about like people have taken yogurts and stuff out with the fridge.
Yeah. We once had to clear out the whole entire building, like all like 9 floors, because somebody tried to vape in the bathrooms and set off all the fire alarms.
What a fucking dope.
Amazing. It was so funny.
We were in a hotel in London one time, and all the fire alarms went off, and it was like 3 a.m. on a Saturday morning. And I was like, that's someone trying to vape in a room. That's just fuck this for everyone.
And so the question is, do you get up? Because you have to.
Do you know what? I looked out in the corridor, locked eyes with another dude who was looking out of his door, and we both shook our heads and went back inside.
That's the response is, if I can't see the fire, then the fire doesn't exist. So we're glad.
We were in like the basement floor, so it's only going to move up.
So what you're saying is you're going to survive if it comes to it.
I'll live forever. I don't care.
Worst comes to worst, I'm diving out the window.
Yeah, I'm crawling up the street level.
Yeah.
But I'll get a Greggs for myself.
But you're like, people on the 10th floor, they're dead. They're burned to death. And I don't care. I'm going to sleep.
I can't help them.
I can't. They're already gone in my head. They're already dead, butchered. So, like, I'll go back to sleep for a few days.
I said I've mourned them already.
I'll be rested in the morning. I can mourn them properly.
No, I'll be arrested. I started the fire.
But you'll also be arrested. You'll be like, oh Jesus, I feel fucking fresh though at the same time when they're leading you away. So a second search operation began that morning with the help from at least 9 additional search and rescue groups, including those from nearby counties. With a second search operation underway, the hiker managed to regain enough cell service to dial 911. The hiker reported being very disorientated on the descent and falling at least 20 times on the steep slopes below, so he kept falling down the mountain.
At least he's going down. That's where you need to be.
With every fall, you're closer to where you need to get to.
Yeah, just to look on the bright side. We're all about positivity on this podcast.
It added that after the last fall, he was unable to get back up.
Oh dear, that's tougher. That's a tough situation to be in.
At that point, you got to just keep falling. It can't get any worse.
Yeah, do a little spin, a little roll on the way down.
Yeah.
Make it down in record time.
So he very luckily regained enough cell service to make the call, and upon locating the hiker, the search and rescue teams eventually found him. They extracted him from the mountain, and he was stabilised and brought into a hospital, and they looked after him. But Shaun, at that point, he has to go back to work, and then the real questions begin. Because if you're him, what's the first move?
I mean, you'd get a solicitor, get a lawyer, first of all.
But it's outside office time. times.
But it was an office organised event. This was an office retreat. And there clearly wasn't enough safety mechanisms in place for someone to not be lost on the side of a fucking mountain.
Everyone needed a Sherpa. Everyone.
The main thing is that when you go into work on Monday, if they expect you back on Monday, and if they do, they're cunts. If you go into work on Monday, they are going to pull you into a room and try and get you to sign something that says, oh, the company did nothing wrong. And you can't sign that.
No, you have to say it's definitely their fault, because otherwise you kind of come to the conclusion that you just got lost.
Yeah.
But two things can be true at once. You got lost, but they brought you to the top of a mountain that you've never been to before and then left you there.
Yeah. It's different than if you got lost on your way home after a night out drinking. That's a different story. They took you to an unfamiliar location with the company's promise and security that you would be fine, and you were not. You texted people and they were like, oh, you fucked up.
I forgot the texts. I forgot.
The texts are pretty like, damning.
Here's fucking Shaun again, the little dickhead. He's after getting lost. What a fucking dork. Alright, just go up the mountain and then just come back down again. Oh my god.
I know it's 4 o'clock and the sun's going to set soon, but just go do it.
And like it starts raining and it gets a bit windy. Sure, that'll help them up the mountain. Sure, it'll blow them up.
People, they were back in the lodge having a great time.
Chilling out. They were having a few drinks.
Yeah. I know you gotta... I'll be honest, you're burning every bridge you have at that company, but you probably should.
You realise they might not be your friends, they're just your work colleagues.
They don't have your best interests.
No, they're stealing your chicken from the fridge.
Oh, big time.
Big time. Shaun, second up, I wanted to talk about a lovely couple who went on a very nice date. Then after the date, they got into their car. They drove to a secluded location, Shaun.
Oh, it's getting a bit steamy, Connor.
I mean, and it did start getting a bit steamy. Because, I mean, they were getting at it. They were by themselves. They're two adults. You know how it is. Now? They were hugging big time, so they were.
Jesus,
and in the midst of the hugging, they accidentally rolled their car that they were in into the river after accidentally taking the handbrake off while moving around within the car.
Oh dear, moving around within the car is a really tasteful way of saying that.
So, we've heard of the Mile High Club, but what about the Mile Below Club? Yay!
It's okay.
How do you feel about that?
It's the Mile Deep Club would have been.
Mile Deep actually works better for a liquid-based joke. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But it seems that this couple is probably the first members of that. So instead of waiting for a cold shower when they got home, the pair accidentally opted for a dunk in the 135-mile-long river, which runs through eastern Pennsylvania last Wednesday. So they were getting personal in their 2020 Range Rover near the water's edge.
Nice car, alright.
Nice car.
Is that a lease or do you think they own it?
I think own it. I would say own it.
Say own it. It's 2024 now. Yeah, they probably made their payments.
And so they were near the water's edge, a lovely view. They were getting into the mood. And then, unfortunately, whilst in the mood, one of them, it's not said who, accidentally put the car off brake. The handbrake was turned off and the car slowly began rolling while they were in it.
Interesting. And was it a physical lever or was it one of the button handbrakes?
So it's not really said in what way it's done in terms of if it's a lever. Also, it's an American car, so it might be on the steering wheel.
That's also true.
On the steering wheel sometimes.
The EPB, it's located between the steering wheel and the driver's door. So, yeah, it must be the one near the steering wheel. That's from Land Rover iGuide Online, by the way.
Oh, good. And that's my book. I have that bookmark. That's my homepage.
Which is even wilder then, because the actual handbrake, I can understand wanting to get a grip on something and accidentally throwing it down.
Yeah.
But the button feels a lot more out of the way.
By the way, this was at 4:15 in the morning that this happened.
That's even... Just fair play. That's after a night of drinking.
To even stay up that late, lads. Fair play.
To be able to drive up to the river. Jesus.
Fair play to you. Somehow one of the overzealous lovebirds accidentally bumped into the gear stick with one of their limbs. Not saying what limb, but one limb hit it while getting steamy, causing the car to start rolling as they nudged it into drive. Within a matter of moments, and probably long before the duo had a chance to maybe react in any way, the white Range Rover tumbled over the edge right into the river that was down below. Although they were forced to emerge from the river sheepish and soaking wet, the couple luckily managed to escape from the sinking car, so that's why we're talking about it. However, they did not have time to get their clothes back on. So they were just in the edge of the water with their clothes still in the car, because obviously they didn't grab them on their way out.
Jesus. So, okay. Man. So they're in the car. This isn't the point of the story. But they're in the car fully in the nip. Like...
well, maybe not fully.
Not even a pair of shoes left on or something.
I would say maybe half and half. Maybe they were just getting down to business.
It's true. Yeah, it depends how far into...
Yeah, exactly. We don't know when it was kicked, and they'll never admit it.
No. Heavens no.
Heavens no.
So, okay. What's the conversation like after you swim to shore?
Is there a second date?
You're not driving anywhere anyway.
We're going by train.
Let's go for a walk.
Let's just go for a walk in the park. Don't fucking drive to the park. Who are you mad at? One of them has to be the one, and they know that they were the ones that did it, because you would feel it.
But you can't place blame in that moment, can you? Like,
the first thing one of them does, if it wasn't you and you just nearly drowned, you would immediately be like, fucking hell.
Is your first instinct like, who can I blame for this?
No, I think in the first instance you're like, holy shit, we nearly died. But I think like an hour later, after you get past like, oh my god, thank god we're both safe and alive, there's got to be an inkling in your brain that's like, well, I don't remember kicking it myself, so just...
For me, you never address that. It doesn't matter. It's everyone's fault. Okay? There was two people having sex in that car.
Spoken like a true man who definitely kicked it.
Look, I was just holding my foot in the brake the whole time. What's wild is
the one.
They can never do this again. Even if they split up
a car with each other
and
again.
get separate partners, that's no longer a fun romantic activity.
No.
That's like, oh no, I've seen this go badly wrong.
No, we can't ever be in the car at the same time. Just the two of us. Ever again.
You go on a date, you go on like, oh, let's go shift up on the fucking riverbank.
Shift.
I know. And you get out and you start putting like blocks under the wheels and shit. Like,
you take the tyres off and put it on top of the blocks, and then you're like,
winch it to a tree preemptively.
Now, you bring a fucking boat anchor and you like stick it in the ground behind it. Like, this is going fucking nowhere, right? I know what you're like with your limbs.
On to the romance, please.
Now, where were we?
You like candles, the whole thing goes up.
I think this is possibly one of the worst things to ever happen on a date, and I don't know how you ever come back from it.
Might be the worst date we've had on the show.
It's by all accounts, one of the worst.
Up until it wasn't, it was going real well.
It was a fucking fantastic date.
It was a whole fucking run.
The worst date.
Now, great story. It's kind of a shame the car wasn't on a lease, because now he needs a whole new car. I'm presuming it's his car there, actually. Could have been her car either.
See, now, why did you assume that?
It's ingrained sexism, Connor.
Oh my god.
Something that I work on every day, unlike you, who's comfortable with who he is.
I feel like you somehow tried to turn that around. I got the vibe that you felt attacked and then you went at me.
No, I did feel attacked and I did go at you.
Yeah.
And that as well is part of the ingrained sexism.
And I love the fact that a few minutes before you're like, I wouldn't place blame on anybody. Sure, look, we're all to blame, aren't we? The minute you got put under any pressure. Well, actually, no, fuck you, you big sexist bastard. So maybe think about that.
If anything, you're the problem.
Actually, you're fucking a murderer. So there you go, right? So take that.
You're fucking a murderer.
In a car.
On the side of a river.
That would be a way to... You could do that as a murder thing.
What do you mean you could do that as a murder?
That would be a movie. There's a serial killer that keeps bringing people to this and he has to keep...
And he keeps rinsing through 2020 white Range Rovers.
He's made of money, right? But he's always just renting cars and then just they fall off cliffs.
It's
But he has to do the Homer Simpson. Just before it goes, he has to leap out the fucking door.
Hop out, then goes right back in.
Yeah.
Once he gets the third or fourth Range Rover, though, they're going to start asking questions.
You got to change the name. Like, the names have to start... He doesn't have to always be a Range Rover.
If he's murdering people, he's probably stealing a car as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, just
or
on a pure financial basis, I think theft, best way to go if you're going to do the murders.
If you had to be murdered in a car, would you prefer if they bought the car? Or would you, would you feel insulted if it was stolen?
I can't say I would think about it. Am I being butchered to death with an axe in the car?
It's a quick one. It's a knife, but it's a really good knife stab. You're going to die quick.
I don't think my thought would ever go to who's leased this car, whose name is down as owner of this car. If you were dying and it had that new car smell, I think you'd be a little more comforted in knowing you're not the first person. You are the first person to die in this car. You are a complete maniac, just to let you know. That sentence is completely unhinged.
But okay, so we spent a few days together this week.
Yeah.
Can you confirm to the listeners this isn't an act?
No, he's like this all the time. All the time. Just constantly.
Yeah, I'm always on.
And it's to the point where I'm just like, lad, it's grand. You know, I don't need to be like, no.
Nah.
Oh, lads, if I was to be murdered, it'd be in a new car. New car smell would really cheer me up. I was like, all I asked for, what do you want for breakfast?
And I told you I wanted to be murdered in a brand new car.
A new car smell and a murder.
It's the only way to start the day.
I can confirm that it is not a bit. This is what he's actually like. And two, we had a lot of responses to your numbers bit of you giving numbers feelings and personalities and what numbers you were, what numbers I was. And I just think a lot of people were... What's the word that I would use? Sympathetic to your...
That's good.
They were sympathetic to your...
Quirks?
Stronger than quirks.
Diagnosis?
Undiagnosed things they were sympathetic to.
It's not diagnosed, but it's peer reviewed, let's be honest.
It's very much there, though. So Shaun, we're going to finish off weird news this week, and it's one of those things where this week I was kind of like, where are we going to finish off? But I had to go to a bald eagle that was injured this week, because wildlife officials in Missouri rescued what they thought was a injured and flightless bald eagle, only to discover afterwards that it was not injured and it was not flightless. It had just gorged itself on a roadkill raccoon and was, by their own words, too fat to fly anymore.
Been there, brother.
Right there, get the fuck out.
No, not again. Not you.
Not again, please.
See what that man did to a Burger King.
The bird was spotted on the ground near the boundary of Wilson's Creek National Battlefield in Springfield. A circled portion of an X-ray shows a raccoon's paw in the bald eagle's stomach. Rangers from the Missouri Department of Conservation basically captured and transported the eagle because it was just lying there, and they were like, it's gravely injured and or it can't fly. It's just,
like if eagles are good at one thing, it's flying.
Yeah,
and
flying and hunting.
To do that. Right. Okay. But then how soon after taking the eagle in did they realise it was just full?
Well, veterinarians expected images of broken wings or maybe some other trauma in any of the bones. They did loads of x-rays on the fucking thing, and instead they found themselves looking at a succession of photos of the remains of the eagle's most recent meal, namely a raccoon.
Roadkill raccoon, my favourite superhero.
A raccoon is massive. Yeah. That is just pure greed.
It's a gluttonous eagle.
It's no madness or remorse eating machine, is what I would say.
Weight of a raccoon between 14 and 23 pounds.
That's too much.
That's far too much.
What's the weight of an eagle?
That's a very good question. Weigh a bald eagle, because there's a few eagles. Bald eagle, this is in kilograms. We're going to have to do some conversions, but it's between 3 and 6.3 kilograms.
What does that mean?
3 kg in pounds. Here we go.
Like 12 pounds?
Between 7 and 12 pounds. So it's after eating twice its body weight, roughly, in raccoon.
No wonder it's absolutely full. It wants death.
Imagine the most full you've ever been. Imagine whatever you weigh now. Imagine eating 2 of you.
I remember years ago I went to a barbecue, and it was one of the first times I was meeting her family, right? So
big deal.
I was best behaviour, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember I ate, I think, 5 burgers. I think I ate maybe 20 chicken wings. I ate like 3 hot dogs because they just kept feeding me things, and I kept saying, yeah, no, that's great, absolutely.
Because I was trying to down.
Can't turn it down, like this, you know what I mean? And it was a lovely summer day, and I got to 7:30, and then I had to go inside and lie on the couch because, I mean, I thought death was about to take me.
There's nothing worse, like the fear and panic that sets in once overeating actually hits you.
Because you're like, I need to sit down and lie down immediately or I'll die.
Like, I was at a Christmas dinner once, and my friend Neil was there, and I just looked at him after eating too much, and I said, Neil, I messed up.
I done gone and goofed, Neil.
Because I had like the sweats, man. I was bad.
The sweats start kicking in, and you're just like, oh man. Now imagine, like, if someone at that point asked you to go running. That's what this eagle is being asked to do, and he just wants to lie there, just dead.
He just needs to fucking digest for a while.
Just give him a few hours.
Yeah. Give him a few hours. Give him a fizzy drink, maybe. You know, just to freshen things up a bit.
No, he will be burping. That's not going to be good either.
You need to get the burps out, though. Sometimes they get stuck. Give him a can.
Needs to go the other way.
Needs to go through, not over.
Not back out. I just read that I was like, bird too fat to fly, and they had to bring in the whole like fucking National Guard and the conservative people to be like, we need to get this animal to the vet. It's gonna die. Imagine
being super full and just wanting to rest, and people pulling you into a van and then bringing you into a doctor's office.
The hospital's bad enough as it is. You don't want to be full to the brim going in.
And then, like, what? Like, do you just have to sit in the vet until you fucking shit everything out? Or do they leave you off just out into the world?
You know what's so funny is I haven't done more research into what a bird does when he's brought in when he's too full.
Well, what's the point of you on the show then? Because I have questions. The listeners have questions.
Sorry, yeah. I'll just open another tab. What happens? How does a bird shit himself? Or how long after eating too much does a bird shit himself?
I'll Google it. I don't care. How long after eating does
a bald eagle shit itself?
Bald eagle shit itself.
Yeah.
See, there's no direct results.
Of course there's not. Nobody's ever looked that up before. What are you talking about?
Now, I can tell you how long bald eagles stay with their parents.
That does... What use is that to me?
Look, it's about 14 to 20 weeks, if you're curious.
Good to know.
Yeah. No.
We're at our next table quiz and they're like, how long does it take a bald eagle to shit himself? We're like, oh, fuck. Well, we have a better fact for you, good sir, actually. I think that's it for this week's Weird News, Shaun.
What a week. Do you want me to take us out, Connor?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of the Heroes for Hire podcast. We will be back on Friday with Hero or Zero, and next Monday with another episode of the show. Big thank you to everyone over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Heroes for Hire podcast. Link to that is in the description. Everyone over there is amazing, and they help us to keep on making the show. We could not do it without all of you over there. So thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the Star Wars review that we put out last week. It's patreon.com/Heroes for Hire podcast, and you do also get a shout out on the show for the price of your monthly support. So thank you to Róisín and Baby Ben Palmer, Joe Burney, Ryan Komatsu, Dozer, Enthusiast Evanson, Waffles the Quantum Immortal, David Clarke, Shaun Chuck in the Wash, and it'll be Grant Jamieson, Dominic. Anna looks forward to the next Irish animal story, Hjelmroos, Danny McLaughlin, Lordsmish, Michelle Browne, Michaela Doughty, Frost, Gambit's Cajun accent #1 defender, Ed Ball, Conor and Lorraine will only accept MCU Galactus and Paul Mescal GAA shorts. Russ is concerned how Shaun would feel about me if I were the concept of empathy, as he famously has empathy for concepts-Parfit. I think I'd still... Because you're still a concept, so I'd still have empathy for you.
What number would you give Russ?
What number would I give Russ? 86. It's a good solid number.
Strong number.
It's visible by a lot of things. I like it. Jackson Brueheim will be attending Shaun's upcoming gum eating intervention. Liz had a few too many on St. Paddy's Day and tipsily subscribed to the Patreon. Ciara Lawler, Judge Lahey, The Amazing World of Keza, Mikey Chair's #1 fan, Fuck the Heckler, Kyle Borowski, Rory, Peter, have I said hedgehog? Hedgehog's a dude. Jones. Hedgehog is a dude.
Hedgehog's a dude.
That's the same episode as the numbers thing, man.
Yeah, you went insane.
I did. Jack Markham, Barlow Cheese, Johnny Ray, and Hunter Harvard. Thank you all for your support. We really, really, really appreciate you. Head on over to Patreon if you want to support us over there. There is also a merch store, heroesforhire.ie/shop. Twitter is @HeroesForHirePod. The 4 is the number 4. Facebook is Detective Divilment's discussion group. Instagram is Heroes for Hire podcast. And the best way to ever help out the show is to tell one human being that we exist.
Just a one, please.
And I think that's about it, Connor.
I think so. So I've been Conor Lorraine.
I've been Shaun Meehan.
I shall see you all next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.